Today, we will talk about the European Union, EU, what it is, countries, history, purpose. The European Union is an alliance of 27 countries that promotes democratic values and is a powerful trade bloc. 19 of these countries share the euro as their official currency. The EU was created to strengthen economic and political cooperation in Europe after World War II. Its GDP totaled about $15.49 trillion in 2021. The EU traces its roots to the European Coal and Steel Community in 1950, which had 6 members. It later became the European Economic Community and subsequently the European Community. The EU established a common market to promote the free movement of goods, services, people, and capital across its internal borders. The European Union has grown in membership and influence over the years. Through treaties like the Single European Act and Maastricht Treaty, the EU embarked on creating a common European market by harmonizing national regulations. The euro debuted as a common single currency for participating EU members in 1999, and several newer members have since joined the EU. The EU struggled to deal with high sovereign debt and sluggish growth in some member countries after the 2007-2008 global financial crisis. Greece, Ireland, and Portugal received financial bailouts from the EU, with conditions to implement fiscal austerity measures. The crisis abated after several measures were adopted to support affected countries. Long-term measures were established, including the European Stability Mechanism and refinancing operations by the European Central Bank, to assist EU members experiencing severe financial problems. The EU also loosened provisions requiring member states to target public debt and implemented a new agency, the Single Resolution Board, to resolve bank failures. The disparity in wealth and economic growth between the European Union's heavily industrialized north and its poorer southern periphery remains a challenge. Without currency depreciation, struggling southern economies have difficulty competing with their northern rivals, leading to ongoing economic issues within the EU. In the US, federal transfer payments help address similar economic disparities between regions and states. The European Union's response to the COVID-19 pandemic included joint spending measures aimed at addressing economic challenges within its member nations. After a referendum in 2016, the UK voted to leave the EU, officially leaving in 2020. This decision, commonly known as Brexit, had significant political and economic implications for both the EU and the UK, with reports of Russian involvement in the Brexit campaign. The European Union was created to bind the nations of Europe closer together for economic, social, and security welfare. It aimed to end devastating wars and create greater economic and political power in the post-war world. The EU is committed to shared democratic values and aims to promote peace and prosperity. In the 21st century, the EU has expanded to include Eastern European nations that emerged after the collapse of the Soviet Union. It has evolved to include countries like Bulgaria, Croatia, the Czech Republic, and others, broadening its influence and impact. After World War II, the main purpose of the European Union was to put an end to devastating wars and create greater economic and political power. It became clear that a united Europe would be more powerful than individual nations in the post-war world, and the EU continues to work towards promoting peace and prosperity. Here are 4 key takeaways. 1. The European Union, EU, is a political and economic grouping of 27 countries committed to shared democratic values. 2. In recent years, the EU has expanded to include many of the countries that had been Soviet socialist states before the collapse of the Soviet Union. 3. The euro is the shared official currency of 19 EU members known collectively as the Eurozone. 4. In the 2016 referendum known as Brexit, the UK voted to leave the EU. It officially left in 2020. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.